Building New with Kaitlin and Kyle. Brought to you by Eastbrook Homes.
Well, it's time for another Building New project, a chance to walk alongside a family building a new Eastbrook home from the ground up. This time we are here in Rockford and we're building new with Kyle and Kaitlin. Kaitlin and Kyle Searsiga recently celebrated their one-year wedding anniversary, and they've decided they'd like to settle down and start a family. They were living in Chicago and both landed remote jobs, which allowed for some flexibility in choosing where to live. Caitlin's a project manager for a bank. Kyle's a biomedical engineer. She comes from the east side of the state. He's from Chicago, so West Michigan seemed a good choice. Kaitlin graduated from Grand Valley, so she already knew many of the lifestyle benefits, and it's smack dab in the middle of both their families, so the region also made sense geographically. As they looked at existing homes, it became clear that building new was their best bet.
We found it really hard to try to find something that captured kind of everything we wanted in our, forever home. And that was what we're trying to hope for, is try to get as close as we can to our forever home early so we can actually live in it for a while and enjoy it. So we've looked at existing properties, but whether it be the location or just some aspects of the house that you kind of really can't change at that point, we kind of just decided that we think it'd be better for us to just pick an area that we like and then build in it.
The area they quickly found they liked was the idyllic community of Rockford and Eastbrook Homes' Autumn Trails.
Hi, Kaitlin.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. Bruce Bilesma with
Hi.
Eastbrook.
Kyle, great to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Bruce Bilesma has been selling Eastbrook Homes for decades. He's excited about Autumn Trails. The development is just a short walk from Rockford's quaint downtown. It's a tight-knit community with award-winning schools, plenty of recreational opportunities, summer festivals, and a bustling farmers market. Kaitlin and Kyle are especially excited about the White Pine Trail, which will soon be connected to Autumn Trails with a paved path where they can walk their dog Hazel or ride their bikes into town.
I don't know if you know it or not, but the White Pine Trail is a Michigan state park. It's a linear state park, and I think it might be the only linear state park in the country. So it's 99 miles of state park, and my understanding is that they're going to be connecting that even further down towards Grand Rapids, and that all of these trails, the White Pine Trail, the Meyer Trail, possibly the Muscatawa Trail, are all going to be connected at some point so that you can go all over the place on your bikes.
The first phase of Autumn Trails was condos, the second was single-family homes, and both sold out pretty quickly. Now they're working on phase 3, also single-family. The Searsigas are looking for a ranch-style home with a walkout basement, a wooded lot for some privacy in the back, and plenty of room for Hazel to get outside and play.
I think that there's a lot that goes into building a house, a lot of decisions to make, a lot of thought put into it, but I think it's really awesome that the end result is exactly what we want and have always hoped for.
The question is, will Autumn Trails meet their needs? Best way to know is to get out there and see it.
So we're driving through, this is phase 2 right here, and we're going to hang it right here and come up into phase 3.
Wow, this is beautiful.
This is really fun up here.
Wow. I bet you this is beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Bilesma says there are still lots available before the project is completely sold out.
We've got about 6 sold so far, and then we have some reservations that we're working through at this point still. At the rate that we're going, we'll probably, by the end of 2024, we'll probably be pretty close to sold out in here.
With that kind of peppy pace, Kyle wanted to know how long it would take to complete if they chose to make the move.
Right now it's taking between 7 and 8 months to build from the day that they dig your basement. Okay. It's taking, from the day that you actually sign your paperwork, it's going to take between 10 and 12 months to move into the house.
Bruce said that includes some design time where homeowners make any structural changes they may want. They also visit Eastbrook's home creation studio to meet with an interior designer and make choices on things like faucets, countertops, tile and flooring, shingles, stair rails and siding. And then slowly but surely the vision takes shape.
Building New with Kaitlin and Kyle. Brought to you by Eastbrook Homes.
Our Michigan transplants have honed in on a community. It's Eastbrook Homes Autumn Trails here in Rockford. Now it's time to select a lot, choose a floor plan. Lucky for them, there are still plenty of lots available in Phase 3.
Hi, good to see you again.
Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So this is the Maxwell floor plan. Awesome. And so we'll just kind of tour this a little bit and see what you think about this and walk through. This is a model home, so we did some really fun things in here to show our some examples of what we can do to our customers and prospective customers. We did the bump out here. We had some real fun with the coffered ceiling.
Lots of options allow the buyer to personalize the space to accommodate their needs and their lifestyle. Changes do cost money, but they are often what adds personality to the home.
This is what we call the hearth room. So this plan usually comes with a couple bedrooms up here, but instead of doing this other bedroom, we did the hearth room, had this little separation with a double-sided fireplace. So with the dining room bump out here, that bumps us out about 4 feet and about 13 feet this way. And then we did the patio door off to the side here instead of doing sliders here. And then with that bump out, it also gives us a bigger island. So we have an 11-foot island here.
On next to the owner's suite with cottage-style windows to let in the light but maintain some privacy, a barn door to the bathroom, walk-in shower, and roomy walk-in closet.
Will you be able to go in there too, or will you have to hang your stuff in the basement?
That is a very good question.
The lower level offers a bunch more square footage with 9-foot ceilings, an optional kitchenette, and 2 more bedrooms.
So after touring the Maxwell, how do you feel about this floor plan?
I like it a lot. I really like the layout, but do you have anything that might be a little larger?
We do, yes. We have the Fitzgerald, and I don't have one to tour right now, but we can look at that online.
Home buyers can look at all the Eastbrook floor plans on their website. There's an interactive function where they can wiggle things around, adding and subtracting different features. Once it's done, Bruce can go in and price it so folks get an idea what their vision is going to cost.
There's a lot of similarities between the Fitzgerald and the Maxwell. The Fitzgerald has a bigger entryway as you come in the front door. And then again, has nice big open space.
The bigger ranch carries a bigger price tag, so that's a consideration. Kaitlin really likes it, but Kyle has one more thing he'd like to see.
Growing up, we've always had like a 2-story house, so I was wondering, is it possible to maybe view it on here or tour one of those while we're here as well?
Oh, sure. Yep, we do have a Berkshire that's under construction down the street, and I'd be happy to take you through that so you can get that question answered. So welcome to the Berkshire. This one's under construction, as it's obvious to see, but we're coming along really good. Nice open floor plan again.
And again, more examples of customizing the space. For example, in the owner's suite bath.
To the bathroom here, they're going to do the walk-in shower. This has to have glass installed yet. That'll be done pretty close to one of the last things that we do here. They did do some custom options in the kitchen here. They really wanted to have windows on this wall. And so we did add some windows here instead of cabinets, and then we just added some additional cabinets in the pantry here. So upstairs, 3 more bedrooms.
Okay. A lot of room.
Yes.
A lot to clean.
Up next, more decisions, and lots of them. Kaitlin and Kyle are headed to Eastbrook's Home Creation Studio, where they'll make choices, and their vision for a new home will take shape.
Building New with Kaitlin and Kyle. Brought to you by Eastbrook Homes.
Anyone who's ever built a new home knows the choices can feel overwhelming. Lucky for our home buyers, Kaitlin and Kyle, like all Eastbrook customers, have access to a team of professionals here at Eastbrook's Home Creation Studio.
Hi! So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Kyle, great to meet you.
Kyle, congratulations on your new home. So excited for you guys.
We're excited to be here.
This 4,000 square foot studio is a chance for Kaitlin and Kyle Searziga to create a home that truly reflects who they are. They decided to go with the Fitzgerald floor plan, a spacious ranch with plenty of room to grow in Rockford's autumn trails. Now, designer Amanda Smith skillfully guides them along to ensure their choices for the home work.
We can really help inform you on how the products will work in your home, and we can also recommend the right products for your lifestyle as well.
Their tour starts in the kitchen where Amanda has laid out some potential selections based on Kaitlin and Kyle's homework.
We really encourage everyone to prepare for the meeting. We want you to think about what you want your home to look like, what works for you currently, what doesn't work for you, what can we change to make this home perfect. So we have a couple different tools. We have the website that you can get a lot of inspiration from, and then we also have a design software where we have every single product piece that's in our studio where you get to look at that ahead of time. I know some really great options would be our Hancock cabinets, which are showcased here. They do come in white, because I know you were thinking more of a white, brighter kitchen, but I thought it would be awesome to even just add a little bit of contrast with a darker island.
I really love this combination. I feel like the trends are going more towards warm tones, which I really love in the island. And I do love the contrast between the white, which I think is a timeless look and hopefully, you know, is popular like years down the line, and then also something like a fun color in the island.
Yeah.
Other choices include countertops, the tile backsplash, and an assortment of cabinets to optimize storage and efficiency.
I also love the drawers for organization. I just feel like it's so much easier to access a drawer than bending over to pull the cabinets out.
I would suggest incorporating drawers and standard base cabinets, and you're gonna have everything that you would need. So all of our cabinet style options are showcased on this wall here. So we could do something in more of a modern palette here, something a little bit more traditional. Based on everything that you had written, I thought the Hancock door style would be perfect because it's got the clean lines, and too, it comes in different paint color options.
From the kitchen, they moved on to the main floor living space with decisions about the fireplace, mantle, and built-ins.
So this gives you a great visual of what those built-ins would look like on either side of your fireplace.
Sure. The stone is a little much for me, so I do think the tile insert option would be great to go with.
Yes, tile is an amazing option, and then we can talk through the different mantle styles that we have available because you get a choice in that, and then we can talk through colors and everything as well.
Next was flooring. Kaitlin and Kyle plan to use the same luxury vinyl plank throughout the main floor to give the home an open look and feel. Downstairs, going with roll vinyl gave them lots of options.
So we could do something with a little bit more of a hexagon, or if you want to do something bold, we could do something with a little bit more of a pattern. And we have more subtle options, so something that just has a subtle texture to it, but made to look more like a tile.
For the exterior of the house, Kaitlin and Kyle wanted a darker siding with white trim and beautiful gray tones in the stonework.
I like this lower stone down here. I think I like the grays in the stone over the tans, but I kind of like how it still has the dark that you had mentioned.
Yeah,
that looks really nice.
I love that.
Their last stop required a decision about trim and more details on the fireplace.
I think I like the traditional looking fireplace a little bit more.
Yeah.
And finally, decisions made. It is done.
I'm so excited for you guys.
Yeah,
We're really excited. Can't wait to see it all come to life.
Up next, it's time to get this party started. Let's dig a hole and pour that foundation as we continue building new with Kaitlin and Kyle.
Building New with Kaitlin and Kyle. Brought to you by Eastbrook Homes.
Here we are again at Autumn Trails in Rockford, where Kaitlin and Kyle Serzinga are well underway in their new home journey. Let's check our checklist here because they have decided on their builder, Eastbrook Homes. They've got Autumn Trails, selected a lot and a floor plan. They've made all the important design decisions. Now it's time to get to work.
Nice to meet you guys.
Kyle, nice to meet you.
Kaitlin. Good to meet you guys.
Eastbrook Construction Manager Caden Davis is meeting with the Serzingas on this snowy day in March to check in on the progress that's been made so far.
We've got the less glamorous part of the build done, but we're on our way forward. I'm essentially that mouthpiece from the buyers to the home site. I need to make sure that their vision comes to life appropriately, basically from the time that I sit down with them with their blueprints before we go into permitting to the time that I shake their hand and hand them the keys. I am that trusted source for them to make sure that what they wanted on that blueprint and in that contract made it to the building site.
And part of that trust involves setting a realistic timeline.
And good things take time. So when it comes to getting impatient, sometimes there's timelines, mortgage rates, stuff like that, kids, schools, family. You need to just let them trust you and say, hey, I'll get you to the finish line, just give me some time. In Michigan, that's tough, but we always make it work. Thankfully, the weather before today has been fantastic. The spring weather has come a little early. We're very excited. As long as we don't get any more snow this spring, we should be off to a really, really good start.
Davis says as long as there's no rain, the crews keep moving.
The guys will work in just about anything.
Okay.
Cold, snow, they're not having fun while they do it, but it gets done nonetheless. We know we got to keep on schedule.
Kaitlin and Kyle start to see how their home is situated on the lot and how close it is to that beautiful tree line.
So you guys, your privacy with the lot line is perfect. The newness of this phase is great with the tree line. The trees, a lot of privacy. It'll stay quiet in here. Once we get all your neighbors in here as well, it'll really start to feel way more cohesive than it is now.
And I see some orange stakes out there, so set it ways back in the woods, and I'm assuming those are our corner stakes for the edge of the lot?
Yep.
And to kind of get an idea of where we are in the house, so right now, where would we be standing?
This is the garage. This is where you'll be pulling in. As soon as it warms up and Mother Nature, teams up with us, we'll be off to the races with concrete flat work.
A quick walk around the home and you can really start imagining the lifestyle both inside and out.
You guys have a beautiful walkout. You are one with the tree line.
Yeah, I guess this is going to be, I'm assuming, the site of our slider eventually?
Yes, large opening, large slider.
Kaitlin and Kyle are happy they invested in 9-foot ceilings in the basement.
You notice it right off the bat. As soon as you walk into an 8-foot basement, it can feel cramped depending on bulkheads and soffits. When you get into that 9-foot basement, it's very spacious. That little 1 foot does a lot to just the visual eye. And when you guys are walking through there, it'll feel great.
They also chose to add on a bump out, an enlarged space for the rec room in the basement and the dining room upstairs. All those unique design decisions are leading the Serzingas to something special, the realization of a dream.
I've seen it from the very end of the spectrum to the very start of the spectrum. People buying their home for the first time as first-time homeowners, have never even owned a home before in their building with us, to people that this is their retirement plan. This is something that they've sold, businesses and everything in between, to come to this final resting spot in some of our communities. It's a really good feeling. No matter where you're at in life, I'm giving you a piece to your plan, and it really works out well.
Next time, building new is a waiting game. Kaitlin and Kyle must learn the art of patience as ever so slowly their new home takes shape.
Building New with Kaitlin and Kyle. Brought to you by Eastbrook Homes.
Wow, look at all the progress that's been done.
Give them a few decent weather days and progress on a new home site fires right up. Such is the case here at Autumn Trails in Rockford for our home buyers, Kaitlin and Kyle Serzinga. And this month's update is all about space.
We are done with framing. We finished the shell, the structure. Obviously, last time that you guys were here, we only saw the subfloor. We didn't have anything above us, nothing vertical.
But oh, it's vertical now. Kaitlin and Kyle can get a real sense of where each room will be, how big it will feel, and what the view out the window will look like.
The tall cathedral that you guys have selected with us makes a huge difference when it comes to the feel and the atmosphere of this living space. Get this nice natural light off the windows, the big lot that you guys have in the back. It feels really big and spacious right now, and sometimes people think, well, once we finally get into the home and the drywall actually kicks in, it'll feel smaller. Well, with the cathedral, it opens up that space even more. By the time we get the white ceilings in here and the textured drywall, it really transforms this space, makes it feel really, really big.
Construction manager Caden Davis says even the laundry room is going to feel spacious.
And one of those rooms that feels really big, you think it'll feel smaller, but with the windows off the front and that natural light starting to come in, it'll be a really, really great place. Not a lot of people like to fold laundry or do laundry in general, but when you have a room like that, it makes it a little bit better.
Next to the owner's suite and a luxurious bathroom where again, space is key.
We'll have tile shower, private water closet, and then your vanity will be on the back. I believe it wraps around to this wall right here in front of you guys. To be able to fit three people in one space and not even dipping into the shower or the toilet room or the walk-in closet behind me, obviously we're dealing with a good amount of space here. Welcome to the basement. Obviously, it feels a little bit more elevated in here. You guys selected that 9-foot ceiling. So that elevated space, again, a lot of people don't think that 12 inches will do a lot. In a basement, especially a Michigan basement, when we do utilize the foundation walls on the good half of it near the garage, to come back on this backside, especially with a full walkout in the back, it makes a huge difference.
We noticed that in the model home that we toured, there was a 9-foot lower level, and we really liked it and opted for it. It makes it feel less like a basement, more like a secondary living area.
Great option for, again, your guys' walkout. You're able to access that rear walkout from the basement. You don't have to go up to the main floor, through the deck, or around through the garage. This point of egress is great for a lot of different reasons.
Kaitlin and Kyle have lots of plans for the basement, a theater space with projector, and eventually perhaps a playroom. There'll be 3 bedrooms downstairs and 2 up.
Something new that we do here at Eastbrook, as we get done framing, we drop off these signs that kind of make your mark on your homes. Obviously, before we enter drywall, that exposed lumber, really easy to write on.
Yep, the Surzigas have a one-time dispensation allowing them to write on the walls of their brand new home.
You're able to make any signs, messages, cool stuff. Obviously, maybe in 50 years or so when there's a renovation, people know who lived here, who built this home. So a cool touch that we allow to extend to our homeowners.
Cute.
As long as we're thinking about the future, what about the future of this construction project?
As we transition out of this current phase that we're in with framing and roughing in the shell, we'll transition into mechanicals, plumbing, HVAC, electrical. We'll get your fireplace installed. We'll kind of move on to the nitty-gritty, the heart of the home as we call it, making sure that we kind of have everything that we need before we do put drywall up.
Next time, buckling down on the inside, although not all progress is going to be quite as dramatic as it's been this time. But rest assured, Kaitlin and Kyle's new home is coming right along.
Building New with Kaitlin and Kyle. Brought to you by Eastbrook Homes.
We are back at Autumn Trails in Rockford. Last time we checked in on Kaitlin and Kyle's new home, the external structure was up. It was really starting to take shape. I can hardly wait to get inside and see what it looks like today. Finally, the sounds of summer in Michigan, wind in the leaves, beautiful bird song, and the reassuring hum of construction. That's progress you hear, and for Kaitlin and Kyle Surziga, it is music to their ears.
Better weather this time around.
Definitely.
Much better. This is what we hoped for. We've had some rain this week, but we still keep moving on regardless.
For this walkthrough with construction manager Caden Davis, Kaitlin and Kyle brought their dog Hazel. She's a frequent visitor to the build site with the hope she'll feel right at home when move-in day finally comes.
The point of today, we want to make sure that we're all set on the inside behind the walls before those walls actually go up. So we'll take a spin around the entire house and make sure we're all set before we begin drywall next week.
Moving inside, not a lot has changed visually, but there's been plenty happening behind the scenes to be sure Kaitlin and Kyle are handed over the keys to a home that meets code and will last them for a lifetime.
We've passed all of our inspections. We've gotten our building inspection. This portion of the build, the township's heavily involved. I have to pass electrical, plumbing, mechanical, a fireplace if there's one involved, and then I have to get a building inspection after that.
It's at that point the drywall can go up, leaving time for the mud to dry, and then paint.
Once that's complete, doors, trim, cabinets, the fun, characteristic portion of the build at that point. So awesome. We have an exciting, 3-4 weeks here. We're at the tail end of this not so much fun part, but probably in a month's time, you'll see our house really take shape.
Attention turns to the back and that fabulous view, like living in a treehouse.
Kyle and I were talking at the window last time. We could see all the way back, probably a few hundred yards, just in the few weeks since we've been here. That is pretty full, pretty thick stuff. So great lot for sure.
Hazel's playing it cool, but Kaitlin said she's going to be excited to have her own yard. Kyle said they're all excited about that.
Camera shy.
Couple other exciting additions to take note of. The bathtubs are in and the Heatilator gas fireplace insert in the family room.
People think of gas fireplaces and immediate heat doesn't come to mind, but these units are pretty great at what they do. You'll be able to turn on this fireplace, and if you only want just the flame to be on without the blower, you can have that option as well. If you turn on that blower, it emits a pretty good amount of heat at that point.
Downstairs, another fabulous family space and plenty of room to stretch out. Not a lot to see this visit, but again, a chance to imagine the lifestyle that comes with 2 generous levels of living space. If the weather cooperates and they don't run into any supply complications, Kaitlin and Kyle will be enjoying movie nights down here in no time. In fact, they just got the exciting news their completion date has been moved up to early August. Since when do you hear about getting into a new home ahead of schedule? Welcome news, to be sure.
Building New with Kaitlin and Kyle. Brought to you by Eastbrook Homes.
Another beautiful day on the build site at Kaitlin and Kyle's new home. There's rain in the forecast, but don't worry about that. There's plenty happening on the inside. Let's go check it out. Eastbrook construction manager Caden Davis has promising news. The house is still on track for early completion, and now that the drywall is up, our homebuyers have a real sense of how spacious the main level is going to look and feel.
A lot has changed since we've been in here last. Closed walls, there's actually a limit now, not just looking at the raw lumber that we've looked at for a lot of months now. So ceiling is textured, ceiling is painted, walls drywalled, sanded, finished, painted as well. This is kind of our last step before we really get into all of your trim work. Again, a lot of those selections that you've made for the inside, we're on our way.
The owner suite is coming right along. Tile is being laid out and prepared for installation. It's going to be a joy to start each day in this part of the house.
What do we have? Vanity right here. Barely started, but give us about a week and a half. You'll walk in totally transformed at that point. So we're on our way to a lot of cool stuff, and the bathroom will finally feel like a bathroom at that point.
The kitchen's not much to look at yet, but there's an interesting space that begs the question, what the heck is that?
Something really simple that we do, we'll recess that wall just a little bit. Your fridge will sit back just an extra 1.5 inches. That way when you open up your doors, when we do get into cabinetry here, it'll actually open flush and you're not hitting anything on the way. So one of those really minor details that we do incorporate, but again, small thing, big difference.
Yeah. Down in the basement, it's all about lifestyle. More bedrooms and baths, but lots of space to play with a workout room, a kitchenette, and a large family room.
We follow the same process. is we do upstairs. All the walls get primed, your ceiling has been painted, all of your recessed disc lights are in. We can install those early because we already paint the ceiling.
Step out the slider now and see the backyard leafed out for summer, where privacy is just one of the benefits.
You're just a few feet from your little nature preserve back here.
Yeah.
Kyle plans to increase the lawn by going about 10 feet into the wooded area out back. That's going to be a big job, but it'll give them more room to play with their dog and enjoy the lot.
You guys opted for just a treated deck, but still really, really clean. With you guys being on a walkout lot, obviously we have a lot of steps, but easy access from the main floor down to the walkout if you already aren't in the basement.
The Surzigas plan to stain the steps, but they're going to have to wait for a while.
So really a year from now. You want to let it go through everything. So it'll go through the summer, and then the fall, and then the winter, and then I would say the end of next spring, you guys could look at painting or clear coating or just a clear natural stain on it.
As for the front of the house, Davis says it's transformed since their last visit.
A lot of those selections that you made with us months ago have finally made it to the site. So we have your stone, your trim, it's painted, we have your siding up, your gutters went on this morning along with your downspouts. Wow. So we have a lot of great progress kind of taking life.
Building New with Kaitlin and Kyle. Brought to you by Eastbrook Homes.
I can hardly wait to get inside and see what's happened in the week since our last visit with Kaitlin and Kyle in their new Eastbrook home. Will they soon be handed the keys and packing up their dog Hazel to move in? Let's go inside and check it out.
Oh my gosh, look at the floors.
Wow, what a difference from last time we were here.
Construction manager Caden Davis had lots of positive news for these two.
Lots of progress since our last visit to the home. I believe last time we were here, it was only drywall. It had just been primed, so you didn't see any of the fine details. No flooring, no trim, no built-ins, nothing. So you saw that blank canvas that we were talking about. Mm-hmm. We've moved on to the most fun part of the build.
Yeah.
All your details, all of your selections. So
it looks so good.
In the kitchen, with countertops installed and the backsplash on its way, it's starting to take shape. Same with the mudroom area, just between the garage and kitchen.
The big old built-ins, obviously a huge feature of the mudroom. Great for storage, great for literally anything. Pantry off to the left, laundry. You kind of have a huge section of your home in just this little space right off the garage. It's great.
The primary suite is going to be spacious with lots of great details, including a double sink vanity, standalone tub, huge walk-in closet, and walk-in shower.
Did you guys option for the door as well, or just a walk-in?
We have the door, the swinging door on both ways.
So you'll get your panel, and then you'll get your walk-in door as well. So mostly done, but still yet to be finished with the shower glass.
Okay.
So that basically gets custom measured, custom fit. We basically get that prefabbed, they ship it to us, and then they come in and they set it after we receive it.
Okay.
So obviously right where you guys are standing, your tub will be there eventually.
I noticed that this edge is kind of sharp. Will the glass be against this part of it?
That won't be against it, but when we go down to do our final walkthrough, we typically do a quick walkthrough of all of the grout, all the tile, no chips, no stains, no breaks. Stuff like that usually gets filed down and made sure that it is up to our guarantee of, hey, we trust that this tile was installed correctly.
Sure.
Kaitlin and Kyle wanted to also be sure their island was cut and installed correctly.
We wanted to make sure that when we picked this out, it would be one seamless piece.
So we're glad we got the larger island, but kept it within.
Yeah, we expanded it this way with the cabinets underneath to make the island deeper.
Yeah, the width is still within our parameters of keeping it a one piece, no seam. But obviously, like you said, you expanded it deeper,
right.
So you still get more square footage, and it looks really, really good.
We love it.
Downstairs to the basement, you hate to even call it that because it's such a great living space, ready for friends and family to gather.
You kind of basically have a mini kitchen down here. We call them kitchenettes.
Yep.
So, a really, really cool spot of the basement.
Or when we entertain off our patio, we thought this would be nice to have this down here. as well.
The Surzigas did have to adhere to a budget, and one of the places they saved without having it look like it was the kitchenette's quartz countertop. Different from the splurge upstairs, this option was offered by Eastbrook. They also added carpet downstairs, which saved money and added some variety to their flooring.
Obviously you guys, got everything that you wanted for the most part on the main floor, but wanted to still finish the basement.
Yep.
So we still offer great options and selections in our included costs or our base costs that look like what we have here.
We wanted the structure of the kitchenette down here because we knew it would be a lot more expensive to put it in down the line.
Kaitlin admits they did pay $10,000 to make the ceiling a foot higher, but that was money well spent. They got these cool transom-style windows over the slider, and the room feels enormous, light and bright, not at all like a basement. It's time to close this deal and add another very happy family to this neighborhood. We'll see it next time on Building New with Kaitlin and Kyle.
Building New with Kaitlin and Kyle. Brought to you by Eastbrook Homes.
One of the unique experiences in building a new Eastbrook home is called Team Walk, an opportunity for Eastbrook folks to walk through the new construction looking for imperfections that can be repaired before the buyers take possession. Today is Team Walk Day at Kaitlin and Kyle's new home.
The biggest deal is making sure we deliver that perfect home to the homeowner. We strive to be perfect. We know we may not be perfect. Today is all about getting that last 1%, going from 99 to 100, making sure that come closing day, we're complete.
The walkthrough team includes the construction manager, sales agent, and service manager, along with anyone else who can put eyes on the product.
We're looking for paint imperfections. We already bring the painter back. He's been in here once before. We want to make sure we're getting all the paint complete. Anything, minor, such as door handles rubbing, cabinet doors may be loose, those minor things. We hope all the big ticket items are done. We want to make sure we're really nailing down that punch list, making sure that those items are complete before closing day.
Bruce Bilesma sold the Surzigas their new home, so he feels a sense of responsibility to the buyers. He believes the Team Walk and what follows is a real selling point.
They go through the house with what I call the eyes of the customer. So we go through all the systems of the house, we open and shut all the windows, the construction team goes through the outside. One of us is on our hands and knees checking the baseboard for paint defects and stuff like that. And when the house is finished, or when we're finished with the Team Walk, then the house is peppered with sticky notes or painter's tape showing where all the defects that we saw, the things that have to be taken care of and stuff like that.
We run faucets, we check to make sure hot water's hot and cold water's cold, to make sure that the overflow drains are clear and work, make sure there's no leaks under the counter, in the supply or in the drain.
So then when that Team Walk is finished, Caden will have all the different trades come back in, do their touch-ups, any adjustments that have to be made, he gets that done. Then he does a final cleaning, and then when the final cleaning is done, on the day of the closing, we present the house to the customer, ready to be lived in.
And then, to ensure the long-term happiness of the customer, this is pretty amazing. 30 days after close, an Eastbrook paint crew returns to the home for a touch-up visit, repairing dings and scratches from the move-in.
And then we partner with them through the first year at 90 days and then again at 11 months to address any issues that show up during that first year that they live in their new home.
It's a long-term relationship and one that pays off. The process of completing and handing off the home is more efficient, and homeowners can feel confident their concerns will be addressed. After more than a half-century in business, the team at Eastbrook has learned a lot from its customers.
57 years old, we've been through this process. We really understand now what customers appreciate and what makes them comfortable. Like you said, gives them a sense of assurance that things are going to be done by the builder. And so that timeline of being in business so long and being able to get these things taken care of and know that your builder is going to stand behind you is just huge for our customers.
Building New with Kaitlin and Kyle. Brought to you by Eastbrook Homes.
Congratulations on your new home.
Thank you. Cheers.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There's a celebration underway in the new home of Kaitlin and Kyle Surziga. The hard work has been completed, and it's time to drink a toast to the future. Construction manager Caden Davis walks the first-time homeowners through the house, answering questions and explaining how it all works.
For us being first-time homeowners, it's really helpful because we've always rented and some of the stuff's been taken care of for us. So we just want to make sure we know how to take care of everything.
It looks like you are doing the escrow account for taxes and insurance, so there's your monthly payment. And then we did confirm that that's the amount of the wire that came in.
Okay, perfect.
Soon after, time to close on the purchase with lots of signatures to make it official.
Good.
The journey to the finish line is one that homeowners have been taking with Eastbrook Homes for over 50 years. The floor plans have changed over that time, but some things remain the same: the commitment to customer satisfaction and creating community. Building a new home can be both exciting and stressful. There are lots of decisions that can seem really big, and staying on budget is something that can make or break a deal. Fortunately, Eastbrook has a team of experts that surrounds each buyer and guides them along the way. While Autumn Trails in Rockford is nearly sold out, Eastbrook has a number of West Michigan communities with sites still available, including Byron Center, Cedar Springs, Allendale, Lowell, Jenison, Hudsonville, Holland, and Whitehall, with brand new developments just getting started in Rockford and Spring Lake. You want to live there? Eastbrook is probably building there. Visit eastbrookhomes.com to get started on your own building new adventure.
Building New with Kaitlin and Kyle. Brought to you by Eastbrook Homes.
Hi, hello, Kyle. Kyle, Jason from Eastbrook Homes.
Jason, great to meet you. Come on in.
Hard to believe it's been 30 days since Kaitlin and Kyle Surziga moved into their new Eastbrook home. It's already time for their 30-day paint touch-up and initial warranty meeting.
It's a chance for us as a service team to meet the homeowners. We bring the painters through to touch up any dings or nicks or paint that got smudged during the move-in, and then gives us a chance to kind of set the table for what the warranty meetings and what the cadence looks like for the coming year.
That's right, Eastbrook buyers are not left to fend for themselves once the deal is done. The company sticks with them for the first year in their new home. The Surzigas are what service manager Jason Holz calls light mover-inners. They were super careful as they moved in, and there weren't many paint touch-ups or drywall dings that needed repair. He did still spend time going over the guts of the home to make sure Kaitlin and Kyle know how everything operates.
We don't want to assume that everybody understands everything in their home, and it's changing all the time, right? Just like technology. So we just want to make sure that one, people are comfortable in their new home, and two, that they know what to expect and just understand the systems and kind of what to watch out for.
It all comes in a handy notebook for future reference, so they dove right in, starting with the outside.
Biggest thing in here that is information for you is going to be concrete. So we encourage you to seal the concrete of the driveway and the front walk. You want to buy a cheap pump sprayer, like a pesticide sprayer. You spray it on the driveway. When it looks like it's saturated, it is. When it looks like it's dry, it is. And it's akin to waxing your car.
Got it.
Okay, so it may change the hue of the concrete a little bit, but water will bead up on the concrete. And what it does is it fights salt water dripping off of vehicles, leaching into the concrete, and then popping the surface of it. One other thing on that, you do not want to do your garage floor or the front porch.
Got it.
Wherever the concrete is smooth, it's going to make it extremely slippery when it gets wet.
Got it.
Okay. Have you noticed any chips in the countertops at all?
No, not since we've been here.
Okay. Have you had quartz before?
We've had it in like apartments, but this is
Okay.
our first like home we're owning.
Yeah,
so.
sure. Biggest thing you want to be careful of is around the edge of the sink with pots and pans.
Got it.
Right? The sharp edges coming together. furnace is pretty straightforward. The biggest thing to know about your furnace is that it's kind of built like a new car. So it's got lots of sensors in it, and a lot of what they are watching is the air flowing through the furnace itself. So major would be making sure you change that filter every month.
The instructions covered windows and cabinet doors and especially the fireplace as temperatures prepare to cool down.
Biggest thing to be careful with here is removing and reinstalling that glass. The fireplace is built as a unit, and that glass has to be tight all the way around or it'll let additional air in and it can burn too hot. We encourage you to run a dehumidifier in the basement for the first year. I would encourage you to drain it into the sump pump and sump pit. Okay. And then that will automatically help test your sump pump that's down there.
Holtz talked about cracks in the grout or the basement floor, caring for the irrigation system and humidity control. There is not one stone left unturned. And from this visit, there's a 90-day follow-up, again, to address any concerns. So there you have it. Our happy new homeowners are settling in. Coming up next time, we'll drop in once more to see how Kaitlin and Kyle are enjoying their first holiday season here in Rockford.
Building New with Kaitlin and Kyle. Brought to you by Eastbrook Homes.
Well, the holidays are upon us, and it is a magical time to move into a new home and community. That's exactly what Kaitlin and Kyle Serziga have done here in Rockford, and they've invited us over for a visit. Kaitlin and Kyle are feeling right at home baking Christmas cookies in their new kitchen. They've been in the house about a month now and loving life in Rockford.
It's so good. We love the White Pine Trail. We love walking downtown. We love our neighbors, being in a neighborhood.
Yeah, it's been a while before we had a chance to actually just have somebody next door we can go knock on the door, make plans with and do stuff like that. So yeah, it's been definitely great so far.
Kyle says every once in a while he has this realization, they're homeowners.
Yeah, there are still some days where we've been so used to living in apartments where I think I'll just yell at top of volume that we can't get evicted. So we're still doing that. We're still in that phase of kind of just celebrating having some space to ourselves finally and not neighbors next door. So
feels really good.
As far as their dog Hazel, she's also adapted well.
Very excited to have a yard, a lot more room to run around and play. We got her when we were in a 700 square foot apartment, so she definitely upgraded.
Kaitlin and Kyle have upgraded too. Their home is both warm and welcoming and dressed up for the holidays.
We're going to host my family around Christmas time. And
then we've always been the host for Friendsgiving, so we finally had space for that. So we hosted Thanksgiving here.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
So what about the learning curve? What's been the biggest lesson they've learned so far?
I think one thing people don't expect a lot going into it is once you have the house in new construction is all the extra things going on outside. Like there's the cost of landscaping, a fence like we wanted for Hazel, getting your grass put in. And I think everyone's been applauding us because we kind of budgeted in that to start. But I think there's a lot of extra costs sunk into that you don't really expect when going through that building process.
Should we go downstairs? I will say cleaning takes probably 4 times as long as I'm used to. It's no longer a power hour. It's more like, spending half of a day getting everything in tip-top shape.
I think just some of the normal maintenance. I think making sure we're changing our furnace filter every month. Although I will say there's so much more incentive to fix a problem with the house. Now that it's ours, if something breaks, I'm immediately on it. It's no longer waiting 3 days for a maintenance worker to come. You have the incentive to just fix everything yourself now because it all matters to you.
Kaitlin and Kyle agree working with Eastbrook was easy, and they appreciate the fact that they stick with their buyers for the first year in the home. They say they definitely recommend building new.
I know it's a tough market out there right now with bidding wars and low inventory on the market. So you kind of take that headache out of it when you choose to build your own house, and you get to really make it your own, which is really exciting and nice. So yeah, I would recommend building a house. I think we're doing our own part to help with the housing market inventory.
Well, the cookies are done, and so is this new home. It's time for Kaitlin and Kyle to relax and enjoy it. If you'd like to start your own journey building new, Eastbrook is building homes across West Michigan. Visit their website to get started at eastbrookhomes.com.